In a moment, we're going to be turning to the Yizkor service, so just a few words to introduce it that are going to take the place of any other sermon this morning. Chag Sameach. Can you hear me? Okay. The Pesach Seder is anchored in a verse from the Torah that we read on the first day from the Torah itself. Leman Yizkor et Yom Yetziat Mitzrayim kol yemei chayecha. So you remember the exodus from the land of Egypt all the days of your life. Remembering is complicated. Dr. Erica Brown points out in her Seder talk, Haggadah, that to remember is one of the most chaotic of the mitzvot. It's made up of two opposite components. We remember what is repeated within a structured and logical framework, and we remember what stands out and is surprising because it's a disruption of our ordered experience. And so it is with Pesach. We can think of it as being made up of both of these acts of remembering. There is another Haggadah within the Haggadah, one that is always there, but only capable of being perceived when we have lost someone or more than one someone whom we mourn and who we miss. In the first Haggadah, the words on the pages, the collective story of our people, are set out in a Seder, an order, with a trajectory from slavery to freedom and from indignity to redemption. This is the first component of memory evident at Pesach, structured and logical, repeated year upon year, engraving itself on our minds. It's why we can complete the sentences if the Seder leader forgets how to pronounce them, and it's why we can sing along, even if we don't have quite all the words exactly correct. But the Haggadah within the Haggadah is different. It lives in all of the spaces around the first one, and in bringing to mind over and over again those who no longer walk with us in this world. And by that, our inner disruption draws up its own seat at the table. Whether it is our first or our third or our 23rd Seder, this inner Haggadah of grief holds the story of our loved one's absence. All around, we can see them, although they no longer walk with us in the world. The stained tablecloth, the matzah cover, the wine cups we only use once a year, the family silver, such as it is, Elijah's cup and Miriam's, a particular tune, an always repeated Pesach joke. Perhaps your Haggadah contains, as mine does, your parents' handwriting, indicating who should be reading a particular part, or a cue to put in a prayer for Russia, a reminder of a call of deliverance from another time. I wonder what my father would be writing now. And most of all, we encounter this inner Haggadah in the eyes and faces as we gaze across the table. In them, we are reminded of those who sat with us in past years, or last year, but do not sit with us now. And the Seder itself is threaded through with the language of family. Ancestors and children crowd the pages of the first Haggadah. The 4 questions of the child, the parent's answer, the midrash of the 4 children, the phrase, "At first our ancestors worshipped idols," and last of all, Haggadah, the kid that father bought for 2 zuzim. Even the word Haggadah itself is grounded in relationship. V'higadata levincha bayom hahu lemor. You shall tell your child on that day. The first Haggadah is the telling of our communal story in the most personal language. And the converse is also true. The inner Haggadah, the one populated by our own ancestors, is no less compelling than the one open before us on the table. And those stories also demand to be told to each other in community. Often it happens of itself. We say to each other, remember when he used to, or she always hated this bit, or they'd be in pajamas right now, with tears, or with laughter, or with a mixture of both. But there is one more dimension to the expression of this inner Haggadah. Both in English and in Hebrew, the word lehagid, to tell, carries with it a sense of importance, not just saying, telling. Look in the Torah, and you find that verb used for declaring or making known something mysterious or concealed, for proclaiming weighty information, or even for announcing the answer to a riddle. To be part of either Haggadah, our words must carry weight and substance. And in English, the word tell means not just to convey information, but to give an account, both literally, as in the bank teller who counts out your money, and figuratively, with emphasis, I'm telling you. Both the communal and personal stories must be told at our Seder with equal importance. Like beads on a single string, the recitation of our people's liberation and the remembrance of those who sat at our tables before us are both with us, sometimes ordered and matching, other times spiky and fragile. But our story is not complete unless both accounts are present. Both are tales that must be told. And today at Yizkor, the two Haggadot of Pesach come together once again. Yizkor is housed in the Torah service, the ordered chanting and singing that marks the final day of Pesach. But we interrupt that Seder to make space for our grief. And once more, we encounter the power and the strength and the comfort that can come about when the private meets the public, when we bring our personal griefs into this room and see them reflected in the eyes of all those around us as their griefs are in ours. As we recite the ordered words of the Yizkor this morning, let us tell ourselves once more the tales of those we love, whose presence across space and time graced our Seder tables as we lifted up their stories and remembered them. Let us open the doors of our hearts wide and let them in. And afterwards, as we face outward once more, as we continue the journey towards Shavuot, the journey in which each day is told, we will carry our people forward on our shoulders. Yizkor begins on page 330.